Welcome to Shangrilogs. Here is everything we are going to be working on this summer and fall in this house of massive logs. Okay, welcome to the outside. So I don't know if you can tell from this angle, but the deck is actually casually falling off the house. The way it's hinged, yeah, here, you can see that it's tipping over. There's also a lot of leaking problems because the deck overlaps with the inside of the basement, causing a lot of drip lines right about here across the entire basement. This is the exterior of the guest suite, the suite. Here's the entrance to the garage, and then there's a very slender wall right here. And then we would like to clear out this space to turn it into a patio. But that does mean we need a drift wall right here so that it prevents this, pile up. I don't know how we're building a drift wall, so don't ask. You can start to see a little more of the deck lean here. These are the ice stairs. We're going through a big melt right now, as you can see from all the dripping. But typically in the winter when these are covered in snow, they're also covered in ice. So we have to figure out a way to reset these and potentially grate over them so that they're not just a... So as for the deck, you can see that this railing is coming apart and that the deck itself is popping up. Eventually, we would like to make this window into a door so that we have access from the kitchen out onto the deck. And ideally, the deck goes out this way so that it can cover the first car and actually turns this into a carport. In the patio, you can see that our wonderful cardboard insulation, while it has worked for a really long time, no longer is going to suffice for my aesthetic tastes. Also, Ben did a really great job of using pallet wood to frame the inside of this patio for a cool rustic look, but over here it's not quite finished yet. So that's also coming up this summer. Okay, for interior projects, we have a lot of walls to put up and walls to take down. Smaller project is going to be insulating stuff like this. If you pulled that newspaper out, you would just see outside. One of the first projects is Ben is building us a dining room table to get rid of this one. We'll likely move this into the basement. This table is like, I don't know, 120 years old or something crazy, so can't get rid of it. This is the window that we will be turning into a door eventually out onto the patio. Hello, mountains. But obviously there's a baseboard, there's a log. So this is gonna be like a step up to the outside. Can't have everything perfect. Obviously you can see this window is still taped shut. This is taped with ducting tape, which has been a lifesaver for us. But eventually we would like to just entirely replace this window. It's essentially a vent. It blows in around every single crevice. The window's like 35 years old, so time for a new one. To the upstairs, where the first obstacle you will see is this thing that the Monstera is sitting on. Underneath this is a recycling bin. We also never tore up the carpet underneath it because we couldn't lift it. So Ben is going to be building a custom stand for the Monstera so that it can stay in the same place. Also upstairs is my office. We are on incredible plywood flooring, as you can see. What we would like to do is close in this space along this ridge and down this beam so that this space becomes its own room. The problem with that, partially, is that there's a lot of strange angles about making this fit with a wall. And then there's the entire triangular space to figure out how to put windows across all of this. I want to preserve as much light as we can. Eventually, the big plan is, and this is like probably 7 years or so from now, is to actually replace this entire section with windows that mimic this section. But that's hard to do. For the wall here, you can see some of our really basic mock-ups included in the newsletter. I really, really wanted an industrial window look up here, but they're just too expensive. There's no way to do it. So I think that well, there's no way for us as, people with normal jobs to do it. And it also makes figuring out what goes up here kind of complicated. I'll show some options of what we were thinking in the newsletter, and hopefully one of you has construction experience and can tell me to do something smarter. Okay, fully across from my office is this little bathroom. Obviously this sink doesn't work right now, so we got to figure out what's happening there. And then in this strange little bathroom, there's this egg carton right here behind the toilet, and there's just a giant hole behind it. So we got to figure that out. Also, what a joy. What a joy. Overall, with the upstairs space, obviously this is in widescreen, so it looks a little bigger than it is, but it is a big space. We are really debating about putting floors down. It's just so expensive, and it seems like this floor is fine for us, so it's something you would do for resale value, which we don't ever want to sell this house, so who cares? I mean, the plumbing in this house, oh Jesus Christ. Like, if you actually, I can talk to Ben through this crack in the wall. You can also see over here, there is some obvious dripping, and that is coming from this log. We have some sort of sealant issue with this log that we're gonna have to figure out this summer so that, it doesn't ruin everything. Also a little bit of rot here, so we'll have to sort that out. Okay, now this is just a tiny thing, but this is the kind of thing that can drive you, well, me, nuts. All of these unfinished seams and corners, like this stuff just kind of bugs me. So one of my plans is to tile over it, but it seems like that might be a lot of custom work. And I don't know if that's a this year thing or if that's a next year thing. Okay, so here's our front hall, our dark front hall. One, we have to replace this door. We also have to tape off this door typically in the winter. It's not usable in the winter. I'll show you why. Okay, come on. I will show you why. It's because it mainly gets snowed in. So here. Good luck getting out. But it's sort of a useless front hall. And what we want to do is actually take out this baseboard, which does nothing to heat the house, and turn this into a front hall closet. I'll show you why. On the other side of the front hall closet is this closet, which goes all the way across this room and goes all the way up. And it's just so much storage. And this is supposed to be a bedroom. So why are all our backpacking bags in here? Why do we have so many of them? That's a lot of backpacking bags. Okay, very, very, very future state, probably 5 years from now. What we want to do with this bathroom is actually completely rearrange it, gut it, put a door right there that goes into our bedroom, and then kind of cut off the bathroom right about here so that this becomes a powder bath that goes to the outside, but then we have our own bath that we access from over there. Also in our bedroom, we have to replace this door. I mean, it's a little bright, but you can begin to see that this door is not secure, not isolated, extremely cold in the winter, and just blows a bunch of snow into our room. Outside of our room, we also have to fix Logwalla. That's Logwalla, which you can see has collapsed, even though Ben said it would never collapse. I cannot tell you how satisfying it was that it collapsed. Down the stairs. Part of what I want to fix is all of this. I would just like to find a way to make this look beautiful. I could paint it. I obviously painted our stairs a silly Caribbean colors to make myself happy. So that's an option. Obviously, there's a lot of ceiling work that has to happen. We need to insulate and drywall the rest of the ceiling in the basement. But most exciting is turning this into livable space. So this is the guest suite. noticeably with its massive rock wall, where we are storing our bikes in this strange little garden and rehabilitating this little pine tree that we found. So probably biggest issue is that above us right here is actually where that shitty deck is. And there's major leaking issues here. So we have to figure that out. We can't insulate that until we understand what's happening with the deck. On the other side of that thinly insulated wall is the wood shop. So we have to figure out what kind of sound barriers we're doing on this side. All of this needs to be insulated and drywalled in. You can kind of see behind all of this material that this wall has been nicely covered with planks. Behind this is the cinder block base of the fireplace. Here are some of the windows that we're considering using for my office or a greenhouse, TBD, based on me being a picky baby. And then we have to do something about the floor. This room is so cold. There's no heat in here. It's really dark in here, as you can kind of tell from the way the light's like blaring in. So we could potentially put in-floor heating in this, but that is a huge expense. But it's something that we're thinking about. Then in a future state, obviously, like I said, on the outside, we want to bust through the center of this rock wall. We like it. We think it's cool. We want to keep a lot of it, but we want to open up the middle, turn this into a door so that there's a way for guests to have their own entry, which would be really, really sweet. We can't do it on this side because you can see this pipe hiding under the snow. That is from our septic and other things, and we can't move all of the infrastructure that's right there. So it's got to be the center. In a dream world, we do put extra windows here so that you're just getting a little more light, and this isn't quite like a sad dungeon room. Okay, leaving this room. Oh, hi. All right, so a lot of reconfiguring has to happen down here. On the other side of this washer and dryer is a full bath. On the other side of this wall is a full closet. So let's go look at what that means. So here's the full closet. And then in here is the full bath. This bathroom is just bleh. So we will bust through this wall where the washer and dryer were, and we will renovate this entire bathroom to make it nicer for guests, and they'll have an entrance that actually makes sense for their room. Then, in theory, we close off this door. So this door becomes a wall. This closet is reoriented to the other side. This also becomes a wall, which means that this room, then we will build a custom sectional this way, and this will become our TV room. Ta-da, movie room. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? So that means all of this actually recedes into that closet space. We will move the washer and dryer and the slop sink into that space, making this hallway a little wider and a little more manageable, and actually give us some room for, like doing the laundry. Where are we going to do all of this? I'll show you. Okay, this is where the magic happens. So I keep saying we, and I really mean we. We've never hired a contractor for the house, except for one time when we needed someone to drill a huge hole to put the vent out, but he just had the drill. But this is our wood shop. This is where Ben does all of his fancy handiwork, and we'll be running a lot of these construction projects himself. And so that's what's coming up this summer. So that'll be fun.